Warning, if you're investing in crypto, watch out. Well, in this video, I'm gonna give you some key issues to watch out for if you wanna have success with crypto. All right, number one, just don't bet the farm, okay? Here's the truth, is that when it comes to crypto, whether you're dealing with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, it doesn't matter, okay? The truth is, this stuff is new, it's speculative, it's being manipulated by those that have a lot more money than you, including, in my opinion, the feds. I believe they're the number one asset holders of crypto so that they can control it, so they can keep control of their US dollar. That's a whole nother video though. But I'll just tell you, crypto, you do not want to put all of your money into crypto, banking that's going to be the thing for you. Don't invest anything you're not willing to lose. That's my mantra. In fact, my mantra actually went another step further. Don't invest anything that my wife won't get pissed at me for losing. That's the real mantra, right? You know, you just don't want to put so much into something you have zero control over. It's very speculative and we just don't know. Now, will it go up in the future? It could, right? I'm not saying it won't. I've actually made some money doing crypto. I've bought when it went low, when everything would come crashing down. I'd buy it low and then I'd sell it when it was higher. I sold it in March of 2022 after I heard a crypto guy say, hey, I think the feds are buying all up and price controlling right now. It was up around $60,000, sold off when it was about $49,000 as it started to come down. Made some money, okay? But I'll tell you, like that money, if I lost it all, it would not have made a difference in my life. It would have done nothing to my financial situation. I would have been just fine. Nothing would have happened. I would have lost my house, where I know there are some people that put way too much money in there thinking that they're gonna get rich and it's gonna hit 100,000, 500,000, $1 million. Bitcoin will be awesome. Oh, even better, this Dogecoin is awesome too. I'm gonna buy some of that, right? You know, all these people that start being speculators rather than investors. You don't want to be caught in that kind of greed game that will usually cost you everything. So again, put very little money. If you're going to put any money at all, put very little money into something like this. You know, if you make money, great. If you lose money, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you, I'll give you another bonus tip here. One thing that I did is that the money I did put in, once it did build up to a certain amount, especially when it built up in gains above and beyond what I put into it, I then took my original investment out. Plus 20%. So I took my money plus 20%. So I knew at least I got a 20% gain on it. And then the rest of it, it's just in there making money now. Now, of course, I pulled more of that money out since then, since the prices came down. I'm waiting for it to be a little bit lower than what I'm currently seeing. But I did pull that money out, you know, and took all the profit. But even if I put it all back into whatever type of crypto I want to do, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever, even if I put it back in, I know that all the money I'm playing with right now are totally gains. None of my own money. All that money I went and I put back into my own checking account as if it never disappeared. And then I even took a little profit too. But I went and now all the rest is gambling. So even if everything went to pot, right? Even if it was like FTX type stuff, I'm okay. So that's what I mean by don't bet the farm. Here's my second point though. Crypto is not an investment, okay? Crypto is really more of a gamble. It really is. I put it in the same category as when I used to trade stocks and options. You know, now granted, stocks and options, there's a little bit more history, a little bit more stability, somewhat in that game. But again, just like with stocks, you can lose all your money. You don't want to bet the farm there either. But with crypto, it's not an investment. True investors understand that investments are things that they have the ability to control. True investors love the ability to control and manipulate their returns. They're the ones that say, I want to be able to make this money make more money. Or if something goes wrong, they can do something to reverse it. Let me ask you this question. If something were to happen to the Bitcoin's price, can you make it go up higher yourself or could you make it go lower? You know, no, you can't. You can't do anything with the price. It's just going to do whatever it's going to do. But investors like to be in things that they know they have influence over. This is why Warren Buffett, who's been heralded as one of the greater investors of our time, Warren Buffett, he doesn't go and buy stocks. He doesn't invest in the stock market. What does he do? He buys companies. This is a very important distinction between you and Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett buys companies. And granted, it's no secret that Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger hate crypto. Regardless of their opinion there, what they've done has been successful. They buy companies. They buy a controlling interest in the company so that they're on the board of directors making decisions. They can bring their team in and ensure their investment. They can make sure that those companies are doing the right things. I know one was a furniture store here locally in Utah. Warren Buffett came and stepped in to buy out the CEO. Now the CEO stayed on, but Warren Buffett was the owner. So if the CEO ever wanted to do anything, he had to run it by Warren Buffett, especially significant decisions. There were many times that Warren Buffett would trump him. He would say, nope, I can't do that because I know this market and this is what will happen. But there were other times when he said, all right, well, you can do it, but here's the parameters. Here's the things I'm going to let you do. You can only gamble this much money. By the way, that furniture store actually expanded to Boise as well as into Las Vegas because that guy decided to use his own money. The CEO used his own money versus Warren Buffett's. Gambled his own money. It went well. Buffett made more money as a result. See, Buffett does not invest in stocks. He does not speculate. He does not gamble. He makes sure he has a controlled situation where he becomes an owner that has a controlling interest. Control is everything for investors, just like myself. We love control. We know we can't control all the factors, but we like knowing that we have multiple strategies to be able to influence the returns, influence the outcome, even influence and having multiple exit strategies just in case something goes wrong. And just so you know, picking your own mutual fund or even just picking and buying a stock or buying a crypto at a certain price is not control. Yes, you buy at a certain price, but again, you can't influence how it goes up or down in price. Someone might argue, Chris, well, real estate goes up or down in price. You can't control that. That's true. Just understand that the price doesn't go up as quickly or as quickly up or down as what you see with crypto or stocks. But secondly, is that with real estate, I don't care about the value as much because I invest for cash flow. I invest for passive income. I like the income that comes off of it. That's going to come in whether the prices go up or down or not. That's the true key that I learned when I was starting to gamble in real estate. So yes, there are people that can gamble in real estate too, only focusing on appreciation. We don't do that. We teach our clients to actually focus on the cash flow. How do you create passive income coming in on a regular, predictable basis, yet you have ownership and control in that investment so that if anything goes wrong, you can do something about it. Let me give you an example. I'm going to give you a bad example of real estate just to give some contrast here. I had one client in particular that he bought a duplex. Now, things happened that were outside of his control. One, they started charging a bigger HOA fee where he had that property. And then two, his taxes were higher too. For whatever reason, taxes went up higher. He was upset because he didn't make as big of a profit as he wanted. He was complaining that he made nothing. The truth is he still made a profit because his tax returns didn't lie. He still made a profit on those properties, but he was saying he didn't make anything. He said, Chris, for the last 2 years, I would have been better off investing my money in this 12% fund, which yes, there are 12% funds also invested in real estate. Well, I said, well, let's look at that because that means you would have made at least 24% the last 2 years. Guess what? His property increased in value by $60,000. So I told him, I said, listen, now you're at a point where it's profitable again. It's making money. You can either keep it or you can sell it and get your $60,000 back and stop belly aching so much. Stop being a big whiner and a big baby. So he decided to sell it. Got out of it, said it was the worst investment ever. Okay, well that investment just paid you $60,000, which for him was actually about 30% rate of return on his money. So instead of making 24, he was arguing was better, he just made 30%. So that's the thing, guys. Like you don't always have control over everything going on. There can always be risks in anything you do. Nothing is risk-free. But real investors like to buy assets and buy things that actually allow them some form of control so that they can manipulate whatever circumstances happen. They can kind of adjust and move, especially as markets change or situations change even. That is the key to being a true investor. Investors buy real assets. They don't buy arbitrary stuff. They don't even buy crypto. I know I have friends that buy real estate and crypto, and that's fine. Most of them are usually younger, inexperienced, and they've only made money in the last 5 or 10 years. For those of us that have been around the block, that have been around for at least the last 15, 20 years, and even though we understand crypto, and again, like I have some crypto money as well, I do not put my focus into that area. I know that that's not a wealth strategy. That's not going to build my wealth. I'm going to build my wealth in places that I know for a fact have always worked. They're real assets. They have real tangible value. Heck, I even got money in like oil and gas. I even got money in business in partnerships where we're flipping and buying and selling raw land and selling it to somebody at double the price, like within a month or two. So already we're making 100% plus return on that money over time as we have them pay us back like the bank. There are so many different ways to make money with real assets that you don't even need crypto. But again, if you're going to invest in crypto, the big thing is 1, don't bet on the farm. 2, just acknowledge that's not an investment. And if you're putting money in crypto, you're not really an investor. Investors buy real assets. If you're willing to accept that and you're willing to gamble and speculate, awesome. Just don't lose all your money doing that kind of thing. All right, guys, if this video wasn't enough for you, we got some more. Check out this next video. Is cash trash right now? Check it out.